Good morning, everybody. I'm here to talk about something that I think everyone should have the opportunity to think about. So, left, right, center, everything in between, I want to talk about the Bill of Rights. So, with all the media focusing lately on the Second Amendment and how scary it is, and people even calling for the full repeal of the Second Amendment, which is the constitutional right to bear arms, not just hunting arms or anything like that. Not going to go into details. I'd like to enumerate, some of the other Bill of Rights, the other 10 constitutional amendments that were guaranteed at the creation of America. So, First Amendment basically guarantees freedom of speech to speak out against the government, to voice your opinion on anything you feel. I think we all agree that's fairly important. Amendment 2, just covered it. Amendment 3, no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. I think we all agree that, having some service member like me just walk up and be like, get the hell out, I think that's also a pretty good provision. Amendment 4, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. If you ain't got a warrant, you ain't searching it. As a reserve officer and military police, also very important. I need probable cause to search you. Amendment 5, no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on the presentation or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in land or naval forces. Basically, you don't have to testify against yourself. The right to remain silent. Amendment 6, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial. Speedy and public trial. So they can't just detain you indefinitely. 7, in suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right to a trial by jury shall be preserved. You have the right to a trial by jury, not just a closed, trial with just a judge. Amendment 8, excessive bail shall not be required, nor expensive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments. Basically, you can't be stockaded or tortured or fined, millions of dollars for something that's obviously not that. And the other two are just basically legislative things for the Constitution. Now let's think about something. We want to pull away, well, not we, I don't. People want to just ban the Second Amendment. They want it gone, like it never existed. And in a way, I can understand that. People are scared, and what do we do as a civilization? Knee-jerk reactions. Something happens, we react. We don't do anything proactively, we just react. So, we pull the Second Amendment. It's gone. No more gun ownership outside of law enforcement, military, and federal agencies. Which could raise the issue, I know in the past 5-6 years, people have been demonizing the police. Oh, they're racist, they're bigots, they're killers, they're, all the slander towards the cops. Who do you think is going to take the guns? And now you're putting power solely in the hands of these people who you've been demonizing. So I don't know what outcome you're aiming for, but I'm going to go ahead and say you missed it. So even, not getting into the whole thing about who's going to take away guns, because I guarantee I ain't going to do it. Most people I know ain't going to do it. Okay, so cool. We've gotten rid of the Second Amendment. It no longer exists. Now the government, in all its wisdom, decides for your safety, the Fourth Amendment is restrictive. It takes too much time to get a warrant. Probable cause? Nah. In order to better serve you, I don't need a warrant. If you need to be searched, you need to be searched. If you need to be, taken into custody, you're taken into custody. We don't need a reason. So the Fourth and Fifth, for your safety, we're going to get rid of those too. All it does is, delay things and allow legal loopholes for people to get out. So it makes sense to get rid of those, right? Well, the Second Amendment's gone, so no one's going to come to our side, and obviously if the military and law enforcement allow the Second Amendment to be taken away, which if anyone here has ever heard the oath of enlistment for the military and knows what the police officer's actual duty is, it's to uphold the Constitution and constitutional rights. The oath of enlistment swears us to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We swore that before we even swear to uphold the orders of the president and the officers appointed over me. So, yeah. I just don't get it, it's a slippery slope. As soon as we take one, especially the most important one, because without the Second Amendment, everything else is just words. And words against the government, against nukes, as that one senator was so kind to remind us gun owners that the government had, well, they ain't going to do much. So, what I think we have culturally is ignorance. And as we've seen in the past, ignorance is more dangerous than any other affliction. Going back to segregation, we were ignorant of people of other races. We thought they were subhuman, whatever. But once we started to educate ourselves and make that education kind of a common bar, we eradicated ignorance and it became culturally acceptable. Same thing with the homosexual and trans community. People used to, hate them, be scared of them, whatever. Oh, they're evil people. But, once we accepted them as a culture and began learning about them, the taboo's gone. So, in America, with the Second Amendment, there's been a decline in literacy with guns, let's call it that. People don't know what to do. They've been so demonized that people see a gun, they think it's just going to, go off and kill them. I've taken out... Hell, hold on just a second. I'm not going to clear and safe it because it is a piece of plastic. It is a training replica. I've seen people see that. It is a piece of plastic and absolutely lose their mind. Start trembling, shaking, and sweating. Some schools are already starting to teach, gun safety. And I'm not saying, we should, be sending our kids off to, Army school and soldiering camps and having them turn into little drilling units and all that crap. No. I'm saying, like anything else, we should teach safety, respect. It's just like, let's compare it to something else that was divisive a little while ago. Let's talk about sex ed. If you look at numbers, and I don't have exact numbers right now, but if you look at areas where sex ed was taught as abstinence only versus offering support to the students, offering counseling, offering, information, the pregnancy and STD rate, or underage pregnancy and overall STD rates in the abstinence-only areas are often a bit higher than in the areas where they teach actual knowledge and how to respect the act itself. So, yeah, we should teach kids, if they see a gun, don't pick it up, don't run around, play bang bang with it, go tell a responsible adult. But a gun is nothing to be feared. It's a piece of metal. It can't hurt anyone without you making it do it. Today's guns are so damn safe. I mean, the guns I work with on the day-to-day at my job in the Navy and the guns I personally own, there's so many safeties built into them. I could load it up, round in the chamber, take the safety off. Not that I would ever do this, but the safeties are so good on that gun. I could take it and I could chuck it across the room and be perfectly safe. I would feel completely confident that no harm would come to me. Also, being in California does help with that because we have the DOJ, the drop list. So, Yay, a little extra safe. Woo! But don't misconstrue that as me giving California any sort of props for gun laws, because just look at them. Oh my God. So we need to bring back education, eradicate ignorance, and teach respect. Because that's what it all comes down to. You fear the unknown. You fear the boogeyman. But once the light comes on, you see he's not there. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. You realize, it's all been in your head, and we can all move forward. But I digress, getting back to what I was originally talking about. I implore everyone here, think carefully about how much power you want to give the government over us. Once they take one, it's easy to take more. So I hope it never comes to that, but we will see. Sure ain't a brave new world. It's definitely a new world, though.